How you all doing? We are going to talk about one of my favorite cities, Naptown, baby. What? You don't know what Naptown is? Indianapolis, baby, that's Naptown to us. You understand me? Naptown, that's right. In Naptown, there's a lot of stuff, all kind of bars, restaurants, and all that, but there's a special place too. Opened up in 1994. Very simple name, it's called the Jazz Kitchen, because that's what it is. Jazz and food, baby, and it's all at the highest level possible. When it opened up, it was there to feed you both in your ears, it holds on the side of your head, and it holds in the middle of your face. That's right. We're going to feed you great music, and we're going to feed you some great food. Now, the music was like, you name it, Maynard Ferguson's. Yeah. Oh, Harry Connick Jr., J.J. Johnson, you know, people like that. It's just the heavy ones. You know, Christian McBride came through there. Stephon Harris came through there. Terrence Blanchard came through there. If they were happening, they came through the Jazz Kitchen. A lot of them came through the Jazz Kitchen because they know that on the break, they were going to get to eat, because the food is to die for. Cuisine. Oh, you want to know about the cuisine? What are they feeding me? It's called NOLA meets the Midwest. New Orleans meets the Midwest. What that mean? Well, you got Satchmo's etouffee. That's right. You got po' boys in there. You got them crab cakes. You got the not so Cajun chicken up in there. You got all the stuff you could get down there in New Orleans. Of course, you got red beans and rice too. You know that. But then you got that whole Midwest thing, baby. Starts with big old fat juicy steaks. And you cannot be in the Midwest and not have pork. You gotta have pork. Pork chops and that wonderful pork tenderloin sandwich. That's right, that's a New Orleans? No, that's not New Orleans. That is Naptown, baby. When you go up to Indiana, you gotta have that particular thing, because that is, you can get it all right there in the Jazz Kitchen. Feed your face while I listen to the hottest jazz there is. And this thing opened in 1994, and it is still kicking today. They've made a few changes. In 1995, soon after they opened, the legendary J.J. Johnson came through there with his very last quintet. And he played 3 nights in a row. And then he retired. And that was the end of hearing that wonderful live jazz trombone of the swinging J.J., who, by the way, was an Indianapolis native. Yeah, J.J. finished his thing right there at the Jazz Kitchen. A few years later, 2002, I think, a great Harry Connick Jr. came through there with a smaller group. And this place, by the way, it only sits 140 people. It's like a little supper club kind of a thing, you know what I mean? That kind of vibe. So when Harry Connick came there, the place was jam-packed, and there were some folks who were really, really angry that they couldn't get in because, you know, Harry had a big name, and there's a whole lot of people that wanted to get to him. Mostly those females, you know how that goes. And they were out there raising sand in the parking lot. So one of the changes that took place at the Jazz Kitchen in 2002 was they hired a security guard. Yeah, they hired a security guard because of all the ruckus that was created over the presence of Mr. Harry Connick Jr. Oh yeah, they got past that, kept that security guard just in case they had another situation. By 2009, they jumped into the modern era. You see, all this time in the 90s and whatnot, it had been a typical jazz club, smoky. Oh yeah, you could smoke right up in there. But in 2009, they decided to become respectable. Oh yeah, no smoking. People were kind of upset with that, but by that time, there was no smoking hardly anywhere in the country. So, you know, After this, go ahead and go outside if you got to have one. And that's kind of how that situation went. But also in 2009, the Jazz Kitchen, which was such a presence in Naptown, partnered with Owl Records, which is a local recording studio, and the Indie Jazz Festival, in a partnership which made them the chief, how shall I say this, designers of what the Indie Jazz Festival would be. Everyone was always so enthusiastic about the music that you could hear at the Jazz Kitchen. They were not 100% jazz, maybe 85%. They brought a little R&B and a little this and that, and they took that same formula to the stage of the Indie Jazz Festival during the summer, and that festival became immensely more popular and more successful. So that partnership began, as I said, around 2009. Big change in 2009. Downbeat has rated the Jazz Kitchen one of the top 100 jazz clubs. Check this out. One of the top 100 jazz clubs in the world. That's right. So if you've been to Naptown and you missed this spot, you want to get there, you want to call, you want to make a reservation, you want to get there early so you get a good seat, because there's only 140 booties that are going to be touching some seats up in there. Now, in 2012, Open Table, big honor, rated the Jazz Kitchen as one of the top late night restaurants in the country. So they are banging on all cylinders, baby. They got the music, they got the ambiance. It is just the right size, 140 seats up in there, so it's intimate, like a jazz club should be. And you can eat and feel good about it. So, the next time you are in Naptown, Indianapolis, for all you squares, make sure you stop by the Jazz Kitchen. And if you're suffering a little bit with some memory issues, this ain't hard. You want some jazz and you want to eat. There it is, the Jazz Kitchen, baby. Thank you very much.